Live from WOWT, First Alert 6 starts with breaking news.
Great to have you with us this Monday afternoon. I'm Dave Zavolinsky. We begin with breaking news. U.S. Marshals have made an arrest in murder of Mary Kay Hesse in Wahoo, a cold case more than 50 years old. First Alert 6 was the first to tell you about the recent developments in this case when, back in December, authorities exhumed Hesse's body from a Blair cemetery. Today, we learned the U.S. Marshals Service has arrested Joseph Ambrose for Hesse's death. Ambrose was living in Ponca City, Oklahoma. He's 77 years old, but would have been in his 20s at the time of the crime. Hesse was just 17 when her body was found along a country road near Wahoo. The high school junior had been stabbed more than a dozen times. Ambrose will appear in court in Oklahoma this week as the process to extradite him to Nebraska gets underway. A Bellevue man is among 3 people killed in a weekend wreck on I-29. That accident also left a 1-year-old and an 18-year-old hurt. According to the Missouri State Patrol, 2 vehicles were driving the wrong way on I-29 near Rockport, Missouri yesterday morning. One of those vehicles crashed head-on into an oncoming car and then caught fire. The driver of the wrong way vehicle, a 29-year-old man from Bellevue, died in the wreck. The 1-year-old passenger had to go to the hospital. 2 18-year-olds in the other car also died, and a third 18-year-old was taken by helicopter to Nebraska Medical Center. The report did not say why 2 vehicles were driving the wrong way on the interstate. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help finding a wanted man. This picture right here is Gabriel Santiago Ramirez. He's wanted on gun and drug-related charges. The sheriff has been looking for him for more than 7 months now. Anyone with any information can contact the sheriff's departments. Well, we hope you like rain, at least for today, right? Because that is the story, and it has been all day long here in the Omaha metro. That being said, we're hoping to dry out by day's end. Meteorologist Jade Steffens joins me now with that First Alert 6 forecast. Hi, Jade.
Hi, Dave. We're looking ahead to more rain through the rest of the afternoon and evening. However, tomorrow looking a lot more dry. In the meantime, though, you can expect those showers to continue, seeing a lot of widespread rain across the metro right now. A live look outside, temperatures have managed to make it into the low 60s for our overall highs so far today. Still seeing that rain come down. And one other thing I want to point out, it is very windy outside right now. In the metro currently, we're seeing gusts up to 37 miles per hour and across the rest of the area as well. These are actually southeast winds ahead of that front. We're going to see that wind turn to a northwest wind as the front continues to make its way through the area. Throughout the rest of the evening, you can count on temperatures in the low 60s and upper 50s, with that rain chance continuing all the way into midnight. However, through the next few days, I'm tracking some cooler and dry conditions on the way, and I'll take a closer look at that forecast coming up.
All right, we'll get those details from you shortly, Jade. Thank you. Back to breaking news at this hour. Omaha police are investigating a shooting after an elderly man walked into an Omaha hospital suffering from a gunshot wound. The victim is 70 years old. He told officers he was shot this morning while standing near 24th and Lake Streets. However, the man said he didn't know where the bullet came from. Anyone with any information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. And we have this tragic update to share with you out of Lincoln. We've learned the identity of a man killed in a house fire. Lincoln police say William Shelburn's oxygen machine caught on fire Friday night. Investigators say several smoking products were found nearby, and they think smoking may have started the fire. Shelburne died inside the home. He was 66 years old. A second person survived, but will have to find another place to stay. All told, the fire caused about $160,000 in damage. It is almost a total loss. Police say 2 cats also died in the blaze. President-elect Trump is expected to make more announcements for his administration this week. Joining us with the latest is First Alert 6 White House correspondent John Decker. All right, John, what has been the reaction so far to the cabinet choices already announced by the president-elect?
Well, it's mixed. It depends upon which cabinet officer you're talking about. Marco Rubio, for instance, very strong, bipartisan, positive reaction in terms of his position in the Trump cabinet as Secretary of State. That confirmation process obviously hasn't taken place yet. On the other hand, you have very strong reaction in a negative sense related to Matt Gaetz. He's the recently departed Florida congressman who Donald Trump wants to lead the Department of Justice as the Attorney General. You have criticism, public criticism related to Matt Gaetz, not only coming from Democrats, but also from some Senate Republicans, which could spell trouble in terms of his nomination going forward.
Yeah, the big news story today out of our nation's capital is Trump confirming he will declare an immigration national emergency upon taking office. John, what would such a declaration mean for the estimated 11 million migrants who enter the U.S. illegally, and what might be the cost of these mass deportations?
Well, what Donald Trump envisions is essentially deputizing the National Guard to help out in this mass deportation effort. 11 million individuals is an awfully big and complex operation. The cost, tens of billions of dollars is what that would cost. And it's not clear whether or not this type of action in which you would essentially deputize the National Guard would pass constitutional muster. There certainly will be legal challenges as a result of what Donald Trump intends to do once he takes office.
That is First Alert 6, John Decker, live from the North Lawn of the White House this afternoon. John, thank you very much. A predator is at large in Lancaster County. A homeowner in Bennett, just south of Lincoln, captured a trail camera image of the animal. Look at that cat. Another person's camera recorded the animal walking across their driveway. The Lancaster County Sheriff's Office is encouraging residents to ensure there are no food sources sitting outside their homes on property. People are also being encouraged to not leave their pets outside. And above all else, if you happen to see the cat, obviously do not approach it.
The main goal is to not present yourself as a source of food for the mountain lion or as something that they would consider prey, which is usually smaller animals, deer, things like that. We want people to look like people, and something that a mountain lion is usually going to instinctually gather is something that's dangerous to them.
Well, the sheriff's office says the mountain lion has not been located yet. Residents in the area are being urged to not walk or jog alone and to make sure kids aren't left unattended outside. It is day 2 of the murder trial of Jose Ibarra. He's the man accused of killing 22-year-old Georgia nursing student Laken Riley. First Alert 6's Jacqueline Fernandez is at the alert desk with the very latest. Jacqueline.
Hey, Dave, prosecutors argue Ibarra planned to hurt a woman when he encountered Riley on a morning jog back in February. Today's first witness, a University of police officer, testified about going to Ibarra's apartment the day after the murder. Sergeant Joshua Epps says he questioned Ibarra about scratches on his arm and that he didn't have an explanation for how he got scratched in the first place.
While speaking to him, I noticed on his right arm, his bicep, there was a scratch, which I identified as a potential defensive wound. On his left arm, he had a forearm scratch that was very similar, which in my mind looked like fingernail scratches to me.
Ibarra is an undocumented immigrant, and the case became a focus of then-candidate Trump's presidential campaign. If convicted, Ibarra faces life in prison. Dave.
Jacqueline Fernandez live in studio. Jacqueline, thank you. Check this out. A man on the side of a cliff at a San Francisco beach had to be airlifted to safety. Rescuers with the California Highway Patrol lowered a hoist with a crew member to grab the man. He was then safely dropped onto the beach below. Thankfully, he was not hurt. Closing bell ringing just a few minutes ago on Wall Street for the first day of trading. It was a mixed bag today. The Dow Jones ends the day down 55 points, but the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ both ended the day in the green. Well, by now, you certainly have noticed the change around here. For years, you've known us as the 6 First Alert weather station. It is a brand that we believe so strongly in, we're now bringing it to our news team. It's us reaffirming our commitment to you, the stories that matter most and impact really all of our lives. A First Alert to safety, investigations, and of course, breaking news. You've trusted us for 75 years, and we look forward to the privilege of serving you for so many more. Start your engines or grab your plane tickets. The Thanksgiving travel season could set records this year. Just ahead, what you need to know if you're planning to drive somewhere for the holiday. Also coming up this afternoon, hear the message President Biden had for other world leaders as his last G20 summit gets underway.
And I'm tracking the potential for storms later on this evening. I'll let you know what you can expect coming up.